So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to do some customizing in RGPTools on your GUIs through the HUD menus. So we'll take a look over here. I'm just going to switch over to the screen capture mode. And what I mean by that is on dialog screens or on, actually I'm just going to take this one second, just a tiny bit of prep work here. Select this mouse. And I'm just going to drag him. Just going to drag him right out of the way. There we go. We don't need him right there. Okay. And then I'm just going to hit run. Now the music is fixed so you can hear the music, but I'm just going to go in and mute that. There we go. So now we're at the, there's a little bit of music in the background you can hear kind of as a background music. But basically, I'm just going to walk over here. And when I click on the sign, you can see that this text is pretty normal text here. Nothing too fancy about that, right? So what I want to do is I want to show you how to change all that stuff. So I'm just going to exit out of here for a second. File. I'm going to save that because I did move the mouse. File. Exit. Now I'm going to bring up a browser. And now what I want to do is I want to go to free fonts. I go to Da Font. And I'm going to just search in here for Japanese. And then there's a bunch of different ones here you could choose from. You want something that's pretty readable. What have we got? Don't really care for any of those ones. Let's see. Is there a... Let's just go Japan. Not very readable. Just trying to find something that's pretty clear, right? Well, for lack of a better, we'll grab this one here. It's relatively clear. We can use that. Open file. And then I want to go extract all. Browse. Now what I want to do is I want to go into UI, fonts, extract. All right, so now there we go. We got a bunch of Japanese in there, so we're good. Okay, so now I'm going to open up the engine again. And close down that web browser. Open up the tools again. And now that we have a font, what I want to do is I want to go into the UI editor. So now in the UI editor, what I want to do is I actually want to just come over to the widgets. And I'm going to extend those widgets. And you have to pardon me, my cat's in the background calling at me. And, oh, I need to open the HUD. Sorry, I'm on the main menu. That's open. And what I want to do is open the HUD text. So you'll see here there's a load level text. So I'm going to actually open that first to show you the difference here. So this is the load level screen, and you could set that up however you want, and you can set up the widgets, the fonts, however. Now this is if you are wanting this to be a full screen rather than just in the game screen. So basically it closes off the level, opens up a new level, displays this. So you could almost use it like a cutscene if you're going to do something really complicated in there, or if you just want to like flush all the memory, load this, then have it flushed and then load into a new level. However, that's not how, pardon me, how I'm showing you how to set it up, but you could do it that way. So what I want to do is I want to open the HUD instead. So we're going to open this HUD, and now we're in the widgets. So now we'll open, and we've got all these pre-built widgets that Martin's gone through the effort of building for the demo game. And so there's different things that you can actually select. So the load level is one, the dialogue's another. So I'm going to show you on the dialogue here. So if you click on this first box, this is the reply list, and it's at the top, but it's actually what that grayed out box was that we saw a few minutes ago. So what I want to do here is the properties of that grayed out box. I want to go font, browse, and I want to go into fonts, and what I want to do is choose Japan Rich Regular True Type Font. Open. All right, and now what I want to do is I want to set my text color to a red, and basically I'm going to take that to 251, and I'm just going to crank that to 0, that to 0. So, or sorry, 255. So it's all the way red, just for simplicity's sakes. And you could change the position and the size of that bounding box if you want to. And I recommend you don't for now. Get used to it. You may want to build your own custom dialog boxes and things, but for right now, just kind of stay with what the presets are. You can also load your own textures for your backgrounds. You can't see it here, but just off screen here is where you can load texture for the background colors in the windows. So I'm going to make the background color unselected a little dark. And go right black with it. And then the highlighted background texture, I'm just going to make it a little bit dark. So both are just a little bit darker, which will show up pretty good. Now my text size, I don't know how big that font is, but I'm going to change that text size, and I'm going to change that text size to 20. All right. My cats are running around here. So now the next component that you want to go on is that's the reply list. Now you want the title, and when I select that, you'll see up here the title is changed. So what I want to do is I actually want to make it taller. So I'm going to come down here to size, and from 22, I'm just going to change that to 32 because I want that title bigger. Okay, so now you can see that box got a bit taller. All right, and now what I want to do is I also want to change the font on that. So you can see it's on the default font, browse, fonts, True Type Japan Rich. Okay, And I also want to change that color to a red all the way down, all the way down, all the way up. Perfect, same color of red. All right, and then instead of 16 font, I'm going to make that a 26 font because I made that able to accommodate that. All right, now I'm also going to put an outline on this one. There's something else you can do. I'm going to make it 3 pixels, and the outline color of black is pretty good, but I think what I want to do is I want to do a deeper blackish red. There we go. All right. Now what I want to do is I want to come down, so that's the title. Now I want to come down to the text label component, and it shows you where that sits as well. I'm just going to bring that over a bit here. If I can make the scroll bar. Oh, no. There. Sorry, that's a component at the bottom. I thought I had the scroll bar there, but I didn't. It's all right. I'm going to bring that down just by going like that. And then like that. That's a little better anyway. So same thing in this one. I want to browse for the font. Fonts. Japan Rich. Open. Color. Red. 0, 0, 255. Click down here. Outline color again. Somewhere around here. Close enough. 3 pixels. All right, that's good enough. File, save. Now you can also do the same down here on your loading level screen. So I'm going to go there, browse for the font, Japan Rich, True Type font. I'm just going to leave the rest alone, except I'm going to change the color to red. I'm not going to mess with outlines or anything here. I'm just doing this for expediting the speed. And then this text here, again, browse, font, open, perfect. All right. Now then, we've got those where we want it. Save. Now we're going to go back into the level editor. I'm going to hit play. All right, just have to turn the music down there. I'm just going to run over here. Click on the sign. And now you can see that the text has changed. Now, this obviously isn't a great match, this red without a black outline or a white outline or something. And you can see where I changed it to the dark black and then the hover over colors. And now this isn't the most ideal of fonts, however, it works, right? Just as a demo, it works. I'm gonna have to find a much better one to actually use in game and change the coloring. But I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go with a bright red and I'm gonna go with a black outline. However, I need to come up with a little better font and a little better way of implementing it here. Now I'll show you on the transition screen. So I'll show you where I set that up in the game. Because we set those in the UE for the load level screen, we have to come over here to the areas, right? And then we're going to go to edit areas. And I got all these areas. This area. And then we open this on enter, elements, to Cherry Creek, actions, load a level, and then there's the text that we've got in here, and there's the background that we've got. And so what's going to happen is it's going to interject this text using that layout that we modified in the HUD file for the load level settings. So that's where this gets translated over to. So I'm going to demo that, how that's changed since I changed it. Just going to zip way up this way to zip past all the monsters in the level, except maybe one. There's one I got to fight right there. There we go. Now I'm going to transition, and you can see the font. And there we are in the next level. And so that's where that font takes over for everything that you've got. So it was a really short one today, but basically I wanted to show you how to do that because it's kind of unclear, and I actually had to ask Martin for help because I couldn't find an area in the event to change the font or anything. And then when I went and loaded the load level thing and changed the fonts there, it didn't transpose over into what I was doing. And the reason for that is because, again, that load level is if you're loading it separately, flushing everything out, whereas the load level by action in the area trigger, that way it does it in the same basically GUI session. So it's rendering it out as part of the whole interface. And that's why it needs to be set up in the widget and carried forward in the formats. And you can do that for all the different widgets. So I'm just going to switch back over again here and just show you here. If I go into the GUI editor, and we've got all these widgets open. The toolbox is to build your own new widget. You can save it as a widget once you've built it. But these are all, I'm just going to close that one down and close that one down. So you've got load level, cutscene, the video player, the world map, mini map, settings, game menu, pause screen, hero bar. So you've got all these things that you can select the fonts in, change the color up, put transparent backgrounds on, add background images. There's all those things you can customize through the HUD GUI. So just keep that in mind. If you go to open the file and edit it there through the GUI editor, so if I go File, Open, what's another GUI? Let's open the intro one. So there's the intro one, kind of defaulty, but you can also get to it through an intro in here probably. I'm assuming there's an intro in here, and if there isn't, many of them are here, but that was just one that I opened up. So that being said, have a great day, and we'll see you in the next one.